It is now 2016. It's the final year of President Obama's presidency. A few years ago, prognosticators were super confident about what would happen to America if President Obama is reelected. I thought now that it's 2016, we should review a few of those predictions. Number one, gas was supposed to cost a lot of money. Mike Lee, a Republican from Utah, actually said in March of 2012 that because President Obama is president, we could expect to see $6.05 per gallon gas by now. I just filled up the other day, Lewis, for $1.99 per gallon. Pretty good price, I must say.
Yeah, it's good. There was that spike. Things weren't looking good for a while. Obama prediction number one, false.
Number two, unemployment was supposed to be stuck at over 8%. Mitt Romney said if he becomes president and if he repeals the Affordable Care Act, he would be able to get us to 6% unemployment by the end of his first term, which would still be which would still be about a year away. It has been done by and large without the repeal of the Affordable Care Act. President Obama overseeing a reduction in the unemployment rate to 5% with the Affordable Care Act. So that didn't happen. Number three, the stock market was supposed to crash. We did see some downturns late in 2015. Yesterday was not a particularly good trading day here in the U.S., but we don't follow this on a day-to-day. We look at broad trends, and the stock market is up significantly during President Obama's second term, 27%. Never mind the total increase in the stock market since President Obama was elected in 2008. And then lastly, well, the entire economy was supposedly going to collapse, right? Rush Limbaugh predicted the economy will collapse if Obama's reelected. We saw all sorts of Republicans say we will not have growth. We will have negative growth in the United States. But we haven't seen that, right? 2% growth in the third quarter of 2014, following 3.9% growth in the second quarter. We saw growth in 2015. Yeah, maybe not what we would have wanted, but remember, we didn't set the standards. The crazy right did, saying the economy would be destroyed, and that clearly has not happened.
Yeah, I think with regard to the Affordable Care Act, whether or not that was the right decision, I think still remains to be seen. Overall, I don't think we have enough evidence yet, really. It's kind of slowed down rising costs, but okay, so that was one of the big ones. And the stimulus package, I think that clearly worked. And many Republicans were against that. They said it was terrible.
Arguably not big enough.
Yeah, in some cases, some of the companies that have been bailed out or helped over that has ended up in a net gain for the government.
No question about it. And lastly, just a bonus, let's not forget, Obama was going to take everybody's guns and he was going to change the Constitution so that he could have a third term. Obviously, those didn't happen. He hasn't really taken guns. Even the executive actions today make some important changes, background checks, expanding ATF, mental health databases, but still not really going out and grabbing guns. So no surprise at all, the dire predictions about President Obama's second term, largely false. We still have a year left, though. Maybe some of that stuff will happen in the 12 months that remain of President Obama's presidency. Let's take a break. Next, I will speak to Marge Baker about how the Republican Party is encouraging and coddling misogyny. That's next.